Good morning, everybody. Hi, how are we doing? Just gonna get the little cameras rolling here. And can't believe that it's Thursday already. So, oh my gosh, okay. This little camera just doesn't want to go. It wants to spin around and around and around. So anyways, yeah, so just going to do the other camera here and then we'll get going. Okay, so yeah, so how is everyone? It's a little bit cooler today, and so we're just gonna make something that's really cool to eat for dinner tonight, or whatever. You can have it as a snack or whatever you want. So what I've done is I have actually pre-cooked some of this so that it doesn't, so that you guys aren't watching me boil water. Hey, hi Jane and Monique, how you doing? Nice to see you on here. And so, okay, there we go. I think everything's on so that I can see the comments. So I did pre-cook some potatoes here, and I pre-cooked some turnips, and I did the turnip greens as well. And I have a little bit of the, which I haven't cut up yet, a little bit of butternut squash also. So we're gonna put this together like a little potatoey, turnipy, squashy salad. And so, yeah, so we're gonna do it without, I've never really been too much of a fan of potato salad for reasons that Jane knows. With the mayonnaise and stuff like that, like it just isn't really my thing. And so we're gonna do this without any mayonnaise, and I'll show you guys when I cut this up. Yeah, so try and get I seem to, I can never find a pair of glasses that actually work all the time, so I keep changing my glasses, and none of them really do exactly what they're supposed to do, because I'm looking down here and then I'm looking there, and it's like, okay, I need 4-inch glasses, 6-inch glasses, 2-foot glasses, and apparently I can't see as far either. Although I do have to say that the I went for the test, see if there's any changes, and apparently the reason my eyes are so flexible and I can't see anything anywhere consistently is because I have the eyes of a 45-year-old, they said. And so they're in the midst of changing. And so there's not a whole lot you can do to keep them consistent to where I can keep the same glasses on all the time. Anyways, okay, so we're working with the butternut squash, and butternut squash is actually has a lot of calcium and potassium in it. So it is really good for you. Often what I'll do is I will put it in a like use it just raw and shred it into a salad. And so yeah, so it's really good with that. Of course it has vitamin C, and it's got lots of magnesium too. So anything with those orange colors, of course, have the vitamin A, which is really good for your eyes. So yeah, so the butternut squash, we're going to dump that in here, and we'll just do it like this. And then we'll add a few other secret ingredients. Okay, so, and yes, I have been told by the expert professional cooks that you're not supposed to scrape the cutting board with your knife, but I'm not a professional cook, so it's it's just a habit. Okay, so we've got the potatoes here, lovely potatoes. I know it's potatoes are actually pretty healthy. It's just what you add to the potatoes that can be an issue. So these are my beautiful, I should have brought you the actual turnip in, because I've got some really, really nice turnips. They're really big, and I'm super proud that they're this ready already, because we're July. And so Yeah, so your turnips also have vitamin A. Like I think it's close to 50% of your RDA of your vitamin A in the turnips. And also the turnip tops, which I had not really worked with before. The turnip greens, and I hadn't really worked with them, so I actually I might have said this before, but I actually looked up a YouTube video to get the traditional preparation of the turnip greens, and there's a lady from the deep south, Mississippi, I think, and it was so cute, you know, with her southern accent and everything, and she was talking about, you know, wash the turnip greens and everything, and she was talking about I think I did mention this before, but I'm going to mention it again because it's worth mentioning for anybody who's oh, okay, Minik. Good idea. I'll try and remember to do that. I have habits. Anyways, yeah, so she, you know, was talking about how to feed a big family, right? And in the deep south back then, I mean, I'm sure you know, traditions of like the plantation days and stuff like that, there just wasn't a whole lot of food to go around for a lot of people. I'm just going to take these out and chop them up finer because I want them to be, I should have actually cooked more. I just did the ones on the one turnip, and I should have cooked more because it would be good to have like a lot of the turnip greens in this salad. But I just used the one, and you know, they shrink down so small that you really need a lot of greens to have a lot of greens. Anyways, so the greens themselves are more important than the turnip. So the it's got oh my gosh, well, of course it's got the vitamin A as well, and then it's got let me think about that. Magnesium, of course, you know, most things that are green have the magnesium in them, but super, super healthy. Oh, antioxidant, that's the word I'm looking for. They're full of antioxidants, and so, you know, different than spinach and different than nettles, but equally as important. And the other thing that I want to work with, which I haven't really done, I've used it in a tea, but I haven't really worked with cooking them, is radish greens. I haven't done that. Like I've used, I haven't really cooked with them. Like I've used them in a tea, but not cooked. So we're going to do that next week too. So anyways, so we have the turnips, the turnip greens, the potatoes, and the butternut squash here. And we're going to add this really interesting ingredient. I have my beautiful, see how pretty, my horseradish. And my horseradish is just like gone explosive this year, which is super awesome. And so I pulled up I cut off a little tiny piece of the root. So this is a fresh horseradish root. And the horseradish, of course, has, you know, so many of the, oh my gosh, it's, well, it's antihistamine, obviously, right? Because it'll clear your sinuses like crazy and has so many benefits. And I'm just looking at the back of this leaf here, and there's somebody that came in on this green, so I'm going to have to take him back outside. But anyway, so the thing with the leaves, the horseradish leaves, is they have the tannins, and I was talking about that when we last week when we did the fermented salsa, and actually I did talk about it yesterday when we did these beautiful fermented carrots, and you can see that the ferment's starting. I'm going to just pop it a little bit because I didn't put, you can hear it fizz, right? It's starting to ferment, and I didn't put the other lid on. It has to have a cloth with an elastic over it so it can breathe. But if you're really, really careful, you can just put the lid down and make sure that what it's called is burping it every day. And so, but you can see the color starting to turn a bit from the fermentation, from the salt brine. And we put grape leaves in it yesterday. Excuse me. So the grape leaves are going to help the carrots to stay firm and crisp. And you can use that if you're going to ferment pickles, or, well, ferment cucumbers, I guess. And you're not really going to ferment pickles, you're going to ferment cucumbers. But you can use the grape leaves to keep the product or the vegetable firm, or you can use these horseradish leaves, which are super awesome, and it's the tannins in them too that will help to keep whatever your vegetables are firm. So one of the things that I want to do, I forgot to bring the little grater over here. One of the things that I want to do is beans. That's what it is. My mind went totally blank. What is it I want to do? I want to do so many things. I want to do beans, and my mind is on trying to find my, you know what, I'm not even going to run away from you guys and go look for it. But I was going to use like the cheese grater to grate this, but let's just do it really, see how fine we can get it. We'll cut it really super fine, like sauerkraut, like super paper thin. Paper thin is what I'm looking for. So with the horseradish, now you really can, you can use it very medicinally. Everyone knows it clears out your sinuses, but it is also very good for allergies. And so if you are having a problem with allergies, like especially airborne allergies, not so much food allergies, you can work with the leaf as well, but most people will react quicker if you use the root, and you can make it into a tea. So you can do the same thing that I'm doing here. You can just cut it super thin, and you know, you have to kind of remember that if you're working with if you're working with whatever it is, the herb or the food or whatever, as a medicine, then you need it more concentrated. And so to just pour hot water over this fresh root or the leaf, or even the dried leaf or the dried root, to just pour hot water over it is like making a tea. So that's called an infusion. And it's not going to draw out as much medicinal property as doing what's called a decoction, which is actually simmering it, right? So you're putting the hot water, you're actually putting it in a pot with hot water, or a pot with cold water. Make the water hot, boil the water, bring it to a boil or a simmer, and you want to do that for at least 20 minutes. The longer you simmer it, the stronger it will get, pulling out those medicinal properties. So if you're working with an allergy, you definitely want it to be stronger, and then it's going to be to your tolerance, right? Because we are talking horseradish here. So if it's you know, if your eyes are watering when you lean over the pot of simmering water, then you probably get an idea of if you need to dilute it more or not, right? So it takes a little bit of practice, but you know what? In the upcoming times here, we just don't know, and it's so bizarre with people running out of things and not able to get certain things. Why not be able to just go to your cupboard? And you know, you can do this with prepared horseradish too. It's you know, in the little jar, it has like that, I don't know, that vinegary juice stuff, whatever that is. So I would rinse that off, and you know, try and get it really rinsed off, and maybe even pat it dry with a paper towel or something, you know, just to try and get some of the moisture off. And then you could do the same with that, and you could simmer it. I don't think that would work with a tea because it's already, you know, prepared. It's prepared horseradish, so it's already broken down. So you're not going to get a lot out of it unless you actually really simmer it to try and pull whatever's left after it's been processed in the jar. So, you know, better case thing is to grow your own horseradish. You know, it's super easy to grow. You just need, I'm just intuitively sprinkling it on top here and trusting that it's not going to be too, although I do love spice. So I'm just sprinkling this little shredded up horseradish in there while I'm talking. Yeah, so if you can get a piece, I encourage you guys to find out who has some, and you can just take a little tiny piece of the root, and it just, you know, it just takes off. Like, it's super easy to share. And I do have some root. If there's someone locally who really would like to have some fresh horseradish to grow, you know, you can almost, I don't know if there's enough here, but almost grow enough with just a little bit of the root. It's just like super awesome and easy to grow. So the other thing I'm going to add here is to this. Hey, Darlene, hi. It's okay that you're late. We're all here and really having fun. We're making like I'll just, for the new people that came on, I'll just kind of say we're doing potatoes and turnips and turnip greens and butternut squash, making a potato butternut turnip salad instead of a plain old potato salad. So just going to add a little bit of garlic here, and of course you know also that you guys should be growing garlic. It's also super easy to grow, and you know, it's, I can't even say how antiviral it is. It's so antiviral. If you have nothing else in your cupboard, even if it's powdered, you know, hopefully it's not garlic salt, because, you know, that would just be too much salt to try and take a lot of. But if you can store garlic powder or garlic granules, or better yet, have a huge supply of your own garlic, it is antiviral. So if you feel yourself coming down with whatever it is, cold, flu, virus, anything like that, just amp up that garlic, because it truly is, oh, there's a little piece of skin in there. It truly is magic. So don't underestimate your garlic. And you know, what I do is, if I feel something coming on, I'll just take a clove like that and I'll just chop it up, and sometimes I'll just stick it on a cracker, and you know, or whatever. If you're having nachos or snacks, sprinkle it over top. Sprinkle it fresh wherever you can, because of course it's going to be more potent fresh as an antiviral. The other things I do sometimes, just take a little clove like this and I'll just nibble on it. If I'm really, you know, don't have time to chop it up and put it on a cracker, I'll just nibble on it and keep going in my day. And so a little at a time, though. Some people are more sensitive in their stomach for garlic. So, you know, you have to kind of find your own tolerance to that. So some people like to have something in their stomach when they eat garlic. So it all depends on your tolerance, but a little bit, you know, should be absolutely perfect. And for sure raw is for the antiviral properties, for sure. I mean, it's fantastic cooked. I love it cooked, but it is more powerful raw. It's also good cooked as well. So I don't know. I'm spicing this up pretty good. Like, really, do you guys think that I should add a little bit of ginger? I love adding ginger to everything. Is ginger going to be really weird in the salad? Okay, let me just slice off a little tiny piece, and I'm just gonna scrape like the tip of your fingernail off here onto the ginger, and I'm just gonna chop this microscopic little slice of ginger into the most microscopic pieces and just sprinkle it around in there, just for the hint of a surprise. Remember, we were talking yesterday about when you bite into something and you're kind of used to what you're eating in the meal. You know, you take a few bites and it's like, oh, okay, you know, this is really good. And then you bite into something and you get a surprise. Well, that's really cool too. I like that. I like surprises. Okay, so I know I drive you guys crazy. I am going to add a little cayenne, because we might as well go all the way when it comes to spice. And I love the heat. The cayenne is an up herb, works from the bottom up, so it will help with circulation. It'll help with your blood vessels. It'll help to deliver all of the it'll help to deliver everything in your body to where it needs to go. It's such a catalyst. And so it will start at the bottom and work its way up. So if I'm working with someone who's having like swelling in the ankles or something like that, or that needs the, cold feet, even cold hands and feet. It'll start at the feet and it will open up the blood vessels and work its way up through the body, opening the capillaries and driving the circulation up. So it's fantastic for that. Whereas ginger, that we just added in here, is a down herb. So the ginger will come in and it will start circulating down first. So the ginger goes down first and then it will bring circulation up. So that's why the ginger is really good for nausea, really good for any kind of stomach complaints, that kind of thing, because it's holding that stomach energy down. So when your stomach's really upset and feeling nauseated, it just pulls the energy down and then goes down to the feet, and then it will eventually work its way back up. So ginger's also a circulatory herb, but it works by going down, and the cayenne starts by working its way up. So yeah, so it's really effective if you're working with, the cayenne is really effective in salves and things. I often put it in the salves that I use to open up the blood vessels, like if you had a sore shoulder or swollen knee or something like that. I often put it in those salves to get that circulation happening right in there. And of course, everybody knows about the heat thing in the store-bought over-the-counter whatever they're pain things. I can't even remember the names of any of them now. Anyways, okay, so we're also going to add a little bit of, even though we added fresh garlic, we're going to add a little bit of the granulated garlic. So this is granulated garlic. It doesn't have any salt in it. It's just pure granulated garlic. And now continue with the, oh God, don't inhale the pepper when you're sprinkling it. Let me continue with the spices before I add the liquids. Okay, hang on, I need a little lemon juice. Yeah, try not to talk and inhale right when you're sprinkling pepper, because it can backfire on you. Thankfully, I'm okay. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit of Celtic sea salt. I love the Celtic sea salt because it's very minerally, has all kinds of trace minerals in it, and is obviously a really natural salt with no iodine or anything like that. Okay, so we have a couple choices here, and I'm going to bring this up, and I'm honest to God, I'm not trying to sell anything, but sometimes I'll add something different, and I think this is kind of interesting. This is like a coconut spice from Epicure, and I don't sell Epicure. I have a friend that does, but I have a few friends that do. But I just thought, it might make it a little bit different. Not that we haven't made it different enough. But, I saw just a quarter of a teaspoon. Just because it's got like almost a, this one almost has, see, just hardly any. And, well, the other thing I could have added, but I'm not going to run around and find it right now, is liquid coconut oil. Could add that too. So just a hint of that, just because this almost has a little bit of a Thai flavor. No, sorry, not Thai, mango. Mango's what I'm thinking of. Mango would have been really good in this, and that's where I kind of was thinking, oh, I wish I had a mango, and then I started searching through my cupboard. And so those are the things that you can do, is when you get an idea of something that you don't have, just hunt around for something might be similar, and as you're keeping an open mind to not follow a recipe, to, yeah, it is so good. When, to not get stuck on that you don't have something and that you can't make the recipe, right? So if you don't have something, just start hunting around and try things. Like I've said before, it's good to experiment and nothing goes to waste. I mean, if this doesn't turn out and nobody likes it, you can always put it in soup and change it up some more. So, so anyway, okay, onto the liquid thing. Here's some olive oil, and I hope somebody's measuring. I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm going to say 1/4 cup. That looks like 1/4 cup, don't you think? Okay, and then we're going to add a little bit of the apple cider vinegar. And this is the apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. And so it's a natural one. If you don't know what the mother is, it's like the little, it's the, like if you made apple cider vinegar, which I have done before, you can just use apples and, well, traditionally honey or sugar or coconut sugar or something like that. And then the apples, as they turn into vinegar, they make like a little mother, which is like a kombucha SCOBY. And so anyway, that's what the mother is like a little SCOBY. And so that means it has all the goodness for your beneficial bacteria in your gut biome, and also the apple cider vinegar is so good for helping you digest. So this will be very beneficial. It'll taste good and be beneficial also for digesting this. So, but it is pretty strong. Like, you know, I don't want this to be too vinegary, so I'm just gonna, I'm actually gonna measure this time. And so we're gonna try for 2 tablespoons. And if you put too much, one of the things I have done to tone it down is to add a little bit of either maple syrup or coconut sugar. Like, depending on the recipe, you wouldn't want coconut sugar in here for sure, but you could add a little maple syrup if you find it's a little too vinegary. So you can see I just love the separated colors, and now I'm going to mix it together and hope it still looks as pretty. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Give it a good mix around. You know, you're not using any mayonnaise, no dairy, no eggs, nothing like that, so that if you're going on a camping, or, you know, going for the day for a picnic or whatever, you don't have to worry about putting this in the fridge, because it does not need to be refrigerated. There's nothing, no dairy, no eggs, nothing in here. So it'll last quite a while. Plus the apple cider vinegar preserves it, right? So there, isn't that lovely? So we could, yeah, I wish I had put more greens, more turnip greens in here, but it still is really, really pretty. I just have to get it exactly right for the picture, right? If you don't know, if you're new to watching this, I have about 150 videos on YouTube, and they're all pretty much 15-minute fast, healthy meals. And on my Instagram, I have a lot of pictures of food, like really seriously hundreds. And so I encourage you to check that out, and also my YouTube. But there you go. Isn't that pretty? So, okay, so you guys, guess what? I actually have to, I have an appointment, and so we're going to cut it a few minutes short today. And so, but give this a try. And you know what? If you, I mean, most people have potatoes. So if you want to do this, and you could use squash, you could use turnips, you could use pretty much anything. You could use beets if you want, but it'll probably turn the whole thing red. Oh, yeah, carrots, anything. So your potato salad doesn't just have to be potatoes. Okay, so thank you, you guys. Sorry to cut off a little bit early, but we'll see you tomorrow morning at 11. And yeah, have a really good day, and thanks for hanging out. I'm a little behind on answering my comments. I'm getting more and more comments, so I've got to, you know, bump it up a little bit and get back to you guys. So thank you for your patience, and thanks for hanging out. It's really fun. Okay, see you tomorrow.